My brothers and my sisters, we get problem. I mean, big problem. Oh yeah, everybody, gather. When I say everybody, I mean everybody. We need to talk. Eh? Where everybody? Now just you and your party then come. No, we never complete now. Call the remaining people then now. Your people wey dey for the other compound. Nasiru wey dey drive keke, Papa Ushuku, and even Madam Koikoi. Call everybody join. They suppose gather here with us. See, that is how marginalization starts. I said gather everybody, let's talk. But you leave all of them out. You carry only people that will be say them be like you. A big problem. See, all the time, human rights activists and all of you that have been shouting, government is oppressing us, our civic space is shrinking. For a long time, we have been complaining about the quality of democracy that we have. We talk about the constitutional rights to participate in discussion of the issue that affects us. But yet, the more we look, the less we see. Discussions and decisions that have been left to a selected few. The rest of us have been relegated to just sit down and look, and we are all suffering for it. Hi! But we also need to ask ourselves, are we part of the bad gang that is marginalizing other people from participating? Or are we giving them the bad eye or not inviting them to the table at all? If you need to remember our last conversation on our shrinking civic space, here's the link. I will also put it in the comment box. Watch it. You go and watch it. Today, I have come to shake different table. The table you are sitting on. I have come to announce today that you are a part of the reason that our civic space is shrinking. Yes, you. Let me explain something. You see, our civic space is shrinking not only because government is activating our moon button by trying to keep us all quiet. Even we are contributing to that oppression by not being inclusive in the way we can engage on issues that affect our collective lives. We expect everyone to fight for us, but we forget to fight for everyone. Worse still, we do not allow everyone to join in and talk their own. Many people fall into this WhatsApp group of, let us call them the invisibles. As the Nigerian civic space continues to shrink, the situation of these groups of people continues to worsen, and every day they become more and more invisible as they are increasingly excluded from the critical decisions that affect their future and Nigeria's future. Who are these invisible groups? There are plenty for there. Some of them are the poor, the elderly, women, youths, and internally displaced persons. Yes, I mean the IDPs, etc. There are plenty. Think about it. The poor, too poor to talk. The old uncle, what do they know? Their time has passed. What of the women and the young people? They should be seen and not heard. IDP people, uncle, they are poor, destitute, and they just don't belong. There are more in this group, but like I said, let's mention the most obvious. We keep leaving this group of people out of the village square, where we hold discussions about what directions we should go as a people, what our issues are, and even when we try to hold leadership accountable. Let's tell ourselves the truth. The omission of these groups means that our civic space is neither inclusive nor truly representative of different groups of people that make up Nigeria. So they are fighting us on the other side. We myself, we fight ourselves inside. Chai. Like I said, we need to talk about it and find ways to amplify their voices now. You still don't understand? Don't worry, calm down. I will break it down for you to understand. Let us start with the elderly. Yes, that is our mama and papa then. and how they are overlooked and excluded in our society. In Nigeria, our elderly population suffers from neglect in both formal and informal settings. From we compound meeting them, to laws at the National Assembly, policy discussions, and social programs. Many times, they push them to the back bench and are denied opportunities just because of their age, especially if they are poor. Hey, now that are 9 bad pass. People think that they are too old and no longer deserving of a seat at the table. Without even listening to them, they consider their ideas old-fashioned or out of touch. Hi! But we forget say, na old spoon, na inside road for inside pot. Let's be honest. The voice of money is too loud in our society. And as you know, poverty is very prevalent among them. Now them paupers now. All this is contributing to the exclusion from the civic space. Because how mama won't take talk policy when mama see they find way to just survive? Let me give you one glaring example of this neglect. And that is Nigerians' pension system. Nigeria don't use this pension matter show our mama and papa them premium shege. Hey! God! See, it will interest you to know that there have been various reforms on the pensions law of Nigeria, even as recent as 2014 with the Pension Reform Act of 2014. But the fact of the matter is that the reality for many elderly Nigerians still remains very bad. Even with all these reforms up and down, our elderly in Nigeria are still suffering. Delays in pension payments, poor management of pensions funds, and inadequate social welfare have left many older citizens in abject poverty, with inadequate access to healthcare, which is critical for their age now. They don't mature. The one way we walk past is the fact that our elderly are often excluded in these talks of reform and policy implementation. As in, person go just dey somewhere and government go dey plan on top in head without asking how far you get input. Now, wow, this does not make sense at all. A specific case demonstrating the neglect of elderly in policy making is the healthcare sector. According to a 2018 study, which was published by the Journal of Aging and Social Policy, elderly Nigerians face significant barriers to accessing healthcare services, primarily due to high cost and poor infrastructure. Even Nigeria's National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, does not adequately cover the elderly, leaving many without proper medical care. Help Age International said that Nigeria lacks a comprehensive social protection system for the elderly, something that other countries such as South Africa is doing very well, where government social pension programs are providing financial security for the elderly. That is, as an elderly person in South Africa, you no go dey fear to retire. Unlike here, where some people just dey change their age, like say they change goalposts, just to remain employed. You know yourself. Make we even stop and ask ourselves. As in, with all this we no go gree that we have done in Nigeria, how many of them fought for these issues that affect the elderly? NGOs and community development groups. Did we invite old people to our meetings and deliberations? If death does not come early, remember, one day, we all go join this WhatsApp group of elderly people. Then the IDPs. These are another group of invisible citizens. Nigeria has one of the highest population of internal displaced persons, IDPs, in Africa, largely due to many types of insecurity across the country, terror attacks, ethnic violence, and natural disasters. According to the Internal Displacement Monitoring Center, IDMC, Nigeria has over 3 million IDPs, many of whom live in terrible conditions with limited access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and even food security. Yet, with all these their sufferings, their voices are largely absent from national policy discussions. And even for we so-called community town hall meeting, you go to leave them out. Hi. You tell yourself sometimes that after all, they are destitute strangers. May you not become a stranger in your own country. One striking example of this exclusion is the National Social Investment Program, NSIP. The aim of this program is to reduce poverty, abi? The program is designed to target what Oyinbo call the vulnerable. Not be so? Good. Still, it is easier for the camel to pass through the eye of the needle before one IDP can gain access to this program. The official reason given for this is that IDPs lack a method of proper identification and permanent address. This exclusion deepens their social and economic marginalization, leaving them without access to essential resources. I don't just understand how someone that is displaced is expected to have access to identification and permanent address. How? This is how IDPs are excluded from many programs that are supposed to benefit vulnerable people. On top of this, they are still forming class, looking down on people that life has already served breakfast. Supposing that breakfast reach you, how would you want to be treated? You are shouting, God forbid, oh God forbid. Now, God forbid be the motto of our national coat of arms, abi? Continue, you hear? Continue. I mean, now run these people wrong now, Not be holiday then come soon now. This thing tire me, sef. How can we solve this problem? First, we need to start in our own little corners, in our informal settings. Are we including them in our places of worship, in our town hall meetings? Are we carrying them along to speak alongside us in public matters that affect us all? Are we fighting along them on issues that affect them? Remember, the more we are, the stronger we are. Secondly, we must push for state and national policies that prioritize their inclusion in civic life. For example, 1. Develop a national social protection policy for the elderly. The government should establish a comprehensive social protection policy that includes a universal social pension for citizens aged 60 and above. South Africa is doing it with their Older Persons Act, which provides financial security and access to healthcare and legal support for its elderly citizens. This is a model Nigeria can learn from. Not be only amapiano. Secondly, expand healthcare coverage for the elderly. Healthcare policies must be reformed to prioritize age-specific needs. Expanding the NHIS to provide subsidized healthcare for the elderly would ensure better access to medical services now. Third, integrate IDPs into national social programs. The government should reform programs like NSIP to specifically include IDPs, collaboration with international organizations such as the UNHCR to streamline identification processes. This will ensure that IDPs have access to social welfare benefits. Look, all this does not stop with IDPs and elderly. We must be deliberate about carrying everyone along in society and ensure that their voices are heard loud and clear. I mean, women, children, non-indigenous, and etc. It is when their voices collide with ours that we will be loud enough for government to take us all seriously. Easy now. By adopting inclusive policies and international best practices, Nigeria can build a more representative and democratic civic space that reflects the diverse perspectives of its citizens. The time for action is now, because one day all of us go home.